How you doing, guys? Big Mac Dan School here today, back once again with another Conquest tutorial mission for you. Today it's tutorial mission 8. So, Conquest tutorial mission 8, let me slip you down there to the battlefield and we can take a closer look and explain what's going to happen. You can see on the battlefield already the forces are laid out in front of you. We have the Imperial Fist forces deployed, in the Death Guard deployment zone. And the Death Guard forces are deployed in the Imperial Fist regular deployment zone. However, that's not a mistake. This is a specific mission for Lieutenant Gideon to get back through to the Imperial Fist lines. So the idea is he's got to get over here to this deployment zone. He's got to get over there, fight his way through the Poxwalkers and get back to an Imperial Fist held deck on the ship. So yeah, that's basically the mission for you. He's got to do that within 5 turns, and the aim of the game for the Death Guard forces is to make sure he doesn't do that within 5 turns, or they can wipe him out, of course, as well. Now, we have a few rules like Curse of the Walking Pox in play, which means if they take out an enemy model, another Poxwalker might join their forces. However, that won't come into play here because if they take out Gideon, he'll be dead anyway, so that'll be the mission over. There's no point adding another Poxwalker to their ranks after that. And they also have a new rule in that they are a diseased horde and they get more dangerous when they've got more than 10 models. They now have 12 models in this unit. We're using 12 Poxwalker models. That we've got the second set now in the magazine, and yeah, we get to use all 12 of them in a single unit. There's a new rule as well for Lieutenant Gideon. He gets grenades, frag grenades. So instead of firing his pistol weapon, and this is for all Space Marines going forward as well, instead of firing his pistol weapon, he can throw a grenade, a frag grenade, which is a D6 attack, meaning you roll a dice and it gets that number of hits, or that number of shots rather, and then you roll to hit and you roll to wound as normal. It's slightly less powerful than the bolt pistol though. It only wounds on a 4+ against the Poxwalkers and a 5+ against the Plague Marines, so it's just as effective against Plague Marines because the bolt pistols would only work on a 5+ anyway. One thing to note, I've already set up the forces because there's no point. It says in this mission the Death Guard player gets the first turn, so there's no point me rolling to see who deploys first. Really, I don't see the point in it myself. This is the escape route for Gideon, and yeah, there's no tactical advantage to one side deploying first, as far as I can tell. So I just set them up both on the centre deployment markers. But yeah, let's switch now to the Steadicam, and I'll come back with the dice tray right in front of you. As you can see, the battlefield's set up in front of you. We've got Lieutenant Gideon down this end on the central deployment marker, and the Poxwalkers are also on the central deployment marker. Gideon is trying to get to this deployment marker here in order to complete his mission and get through the lines, the Death Guard lines of the Poxwalkers. I'll get my turn marker and stick it where it normally goes there for you, but I'll come back after Poxwalker movement in turn 1. You can see now the Poxwalkers have moved. All I've done with them is spread out. The tactical thinking behind that is I'm going to let Gideon just work his way up the battlefield and then let him charge me. I'm going to block his path so he can't get to that deployment zone, so he can't complete his mission. So the next thing to do is come back after Gideon's movement in turn 1. I think Gideon's going to want to advance in turn 1 in order to gain as much ground as possible across the battlefield and get across there in as few turns as possible, so he can have as many turns as he needs to get through the lines of the Poxwalkers. So I'm going to roll the dice and get that on camera, otherwise there'll be no dice rolling in turn 1, so we might as well do this, hadn't we? He's going to get his normal 6-inch move plus 3, so he's going to get 9 inches of movement in the first turn. I'll come back after movement and then Poxwalker turn 2. You'll see now the Poxwalkers move slightly further up. They're using all of that movement to try and get as far up the battlefield as possible in order that Gideon has to charge them further up the battlefield. I think Gideon's next move is basically to move, shoot and then charge, and then he'll see how many of the guys he can take out without even getting into combat with them. So I'll come back after Imperial Fist movement, and there may be some casualties on the Poxwalker side, we'll see. Gideon's moved as far up as he can now without getting into combat with the Poxwalkers, and he's going to throw a grenade into them. So it's a d6 dice, so you just roll the dice, and he's getting 3 shots, so that's 3 dice in total, and they're going to be hitting on 3s. They all hit, and they're going to be wounding on 4s. Oh, just 1 failed to wound there, but they get the disgusting and resilient as usual, so it's 2 of them for the Death Guard. It's 5+ to save. That is neither of them saved, so that's 2 dead Poxwalkers. Unfortunately for Gideon, the Death Guard player gets to choose where they're taken from, so I'll take this guy, and I will take, try to make sure they maintain coherency, I'll take this guy. Oh yeah, that guy. So I've taken them 2 guys away, and now I'll just double check that they've maintained coherency there. Yeah, they're just coherent still. Now they are, I'm going to do a charge for Gideon. The Poxwalkers, of course, don't have any ballistic weapons, so they don't fire Overwatch. He's less than 2 inches away, so he can't fail this charge. But I'll just roll the dice anyway to see how far he gets. So he gets a 6-inch charge there. He will charge. Boom. And then I'll do the pile-in moves and come back after that, and the first round of combat. So you see the Poxwalkers have made their pile-in move. Not many of them can actually get into range to attack him. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in range to attack Gideon there. And another thing to note is the thing that made them more effective when they had large numbers is now no longer in effect. So because Gideon took out those 2 miniatures there, they have a rule that if there's more than 10 models in the unit, they get to add 1 to their attack rolls. So basically their attacks become more successful. However, there are only 10, there are not more than 10 models in the unit now. So basically Gideon's going to attack first now. He gets 4 attacks in total and is hitting on 2 ups. That is 3 hits. He's going to wound on 2 up as well. And he gets to re-roll any 1s, so we'll re-roll that one. It's a failed one anyway. So yeah, he gets 2 wounds there against the Poxwalkers. They get to make a disgusting and resilient save now to see if they can save those units. 5 or more to save. Oh, there is 1 save there, so it's just 1 dead Poxwalker. The Death Guard player still chooses which model gets taken out, so me as the Death Guard player, I'm going to choose the furthest one away because he's the least likely to be able to attack. So I'll just take that one, and then the Death Guard player will get to attack back. There are, how many did I say? 5 models in range of combat, so that's 10 attacks for the Death Guard player. Just grabbing enough dice there. 10 attacks, and they are hitting on 5s. That is 1, 2, just 2 hits there. There would have been a few more hits there. There was at least 3 or 4 4s, so there would have been like 4 more hits had they had more than 12 in the unit, but obviously they don't. So they're going to wound on 5s as well. That is 1 wound, and it's a 3-up save for Gideon. He makes it. So it's on to Death Guard player turn 3 now. The Poxwalkers have all made their pile-in move, as you can see, into turn 3, meaning there's going to be a lot more attacks now for the Poxwalkers. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Poxwalkers in combat there. So 16 attacks for the Poxwalkers. I'll come back when I pick the dice up and roll them for you. So, like I said, it's going to be 16 attacks and they are hitting on 5s. That is 1, 2, 3 hits. Just 3 hits there. There would have been 1, 2 extra hits based on the rule of 10 or more had they had 10 or more, but obviously Gideon was clever enough to take them out before he got into combat with them. And it's going to wound on 5s as well. That is 1 wound there. Just 1 wound, so it's a 3-up save for Gideon. He makes it. It's on to Imperial Fists, turn 3 now, and Gideon gets a shooting attack because he's got a pistol, let's not forget. He's going to hit on 3s. He hits just about. I thought it was going to be a 2 there. He's going to wound on 3s as well. Wounds, and it's a disgusting and resilient for the Death Guard. That is failed there, so that means it's another dead Death Guard miniature as the Death Guard player will take again the furthest one away. So Gideon's still got his work cut out for him, but he gets 4 attacks in close combat now. Let's tip these Death Guard dice out and get these 4 attacks sorted for Gideon. So 4 attacks hitting on 2s. Oh my word, 2 failed to hit there. Disastrous for him, potentially. And he's going to be wounding on 2s also. Apologies, Gideon's going to be wounded on 3s, not 2s. He gets to reroll any 1s though, but he doesn't need that. That's 2 wounds, so it's 2 disgusting and resilience for the Death Guard. None of them made, so let's be picky now with who we remove. We'll take one of these out behind him, and then we'll take another fella out here. Just trying to make it as difficult as possible for him to get through there. So if I took anyone out here, he might be able to rush through a gap if there was one open there, in like a fallback manoeuvre. But it's on to turn 4 now for the Death Guard. So let's see how they do in combat this time. There are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in combat. So that is, I'll grab 12 dice. Yep, it's going to be 5s to hit. Well, that's a bit better. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 hits there. 1, 2, 3, 5 hits actually. 5 hits for the Death Guard. They've not wounded him yet, but they could potentially get some wounds in here, and they're going to wound on 5s as well. That is 1 wound. It's a 3-up save. Makes it. So it's no bother there for Lieutenant Gideon. He's going to now attack back with 4 attacks, and he's going to hit on 2s. All hit. It's much better rolling there for Gideon. He's going to wound on 3s, re-rolling 1s. Oh, he needs them re-rolls because he got 2 1s and a 2. He gets another hit, another wound at least, but that's 2 disgusting and resilient rolls for the Death Guard player. Oh, they make one of them. Fantastic stuff for the Death Guard there. Now we will remove this fella here. This one. Whoop. Tell you what, let's just take that one because he's going to fall off if I remove the other one. So there's still 5 Poxwalkers surrounding Gideon, going into Imperial Fists turn 4 now. Yes, let's crack on with Imperial Fists turn 4. Gideon's going to make a shooting attack with his pistol, and he's going to hit on 3s. Hits. He is going to wound on 3s as well. Wounds. It's a 5-up disgusting and resilient for the Death Guard side. Fails it. It's going to be tricky now. We're going to remove the one behind him. No, we'll take this one away. Take this one away. And then Gideon is going to make his close combat attacks. So he's going to hit now on 2s. Oh yes, he hits with all of them. He's going to wound on 3s, re-rolling 1s. Oh my gosh, he got 3 2s there. He can't re-roll them, but he does wound once. Disgusting and resilient for the Death Guard player. Fails it, so that is another dead Death Guard miniature there. I think we'll take this guy out. The reason I've taken that guy out and left these 2 guys here is he can't get past here because he needs at least the size of his base to get through, so he needs like 40 mil of space, and he can't get through there while them 2 are still there. There is a chance, if in the next turn there's a chance he can still make it to the deployment zone, if basically he gets to fall back in his turn, if he gets some successful attacks in the Death Guard turn. And yeah, the Death Guard player gets to attack back now. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attacks. They're going to hit on 5s, and they are going to wound on 5s as well. No wounds there for the Death Guard player. So it's on to turn 5 now. This is the last turn. And Death Guard, turn 5 now. So Death Guard get 6 attacks again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to hit on 5s. That is decent amount of hits, 4 hits there. And they're going to wound on 5s as well. Let's see if they can take him out in this last turn. Not done any damage to him so far. They're not going to kill him, but they've got 3 wounds there, so that's decent. Good rolling this time from the Death Guard. 3 3-up saves for Gideon, otherwise he's down to 1 wound. He's got all 3 3-up saves made there, meaning he gets to attack back now. He's going to get 4 attacks and he's hitting on 2s. All hit. He's going to wound on 3s. Can he take them all out here? Re-rolling that one. Oh, he fails to hit wound with that one. But they need 3 disgusting and resilient saves now. Otherwise, that is 3 dead Death Guard Poxwalkers. Oh, they failed them all. 3 dead Poxwalkers. 1, 2, 3. And guess what? Gideon's going to consolidate 3 inches to there. Meaning, in Imperial Fist turn 5, Gideon's going to make his movement. He's going to move to there and he's going to complete his mission. Amazing. We have an Imperial Fist victory for the first time in I don't know how long. These Conquest battle tutorial missions have been really tough on the Imperial Fists, but this one, with a single miniature, they've managed to do it. They've managed to take the victory, get through the Death Guard lines and the masses of Poxwalkers and complete the mission. Thank you very much, Lieutenant Gideon. Who'd have thought it? The Imperial Fist with a single miniature get their first victory in ages. I don't remember if they even had a victory since I've started these tutorial missions. I can't remember if they won the first one or the second one, or if they just not had any victories. If this is the first Imperial Fist victory, that is quality stuff there from Lieutenant Gideon. You can't argue. He is a true Imperial Fist. His back was against the wall, or his you know, the chances seemed low and the outlook seemed bleak for him in those first few turns when he wasn't cutting his way through too many of those Poxwalkers. But he stuck at it, he gritted his teeth, and he just stuck to the task at hand, got through the Poxwalkers by the time he needed to in those 5 turns and completed his mission. That is typical Imperial Fist grit and determination there. Absolutely unbelievable stuff from Lieutenant Gideon. Right, that is about it this week. Let's see what we're going to be doing next week, what miniatures we're going to have involved. Looks like we're going to have a librarian and our first vehicle unit involved in a game for the Death Guard. So that's going to be tutorial mission 9 next week with the Mephitic Blight Hauler, and he's going up against a Primaris Librarian and 3 Reavers. Very exciting stuff. If you enjoy what I do, I'd very much appreciate your support. In doing so, you can just give me a thumbs up on the video, comment on the video, it all helps. Watch the adverts before the video and even after the video as well. But if you can support me monetarily, I'd be really grateful as well. There's a link in the description below to my Patreon where you can support the channel at a $1, $5 or $12 pledge level. The $12 pledge levels mean you sponsor a Mortal Realms video. My Mortal Realms videos go up every Thursday, and I normally have some more content on Tuesdays as well, so keep your eye out for all those videos and that content. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Go on, Gideon!